This is not about a difference of opinion or political ideology. This is a difference of morality and decency. When the rapist won the election, I had family members in my life that were crying, that are victims of assault. Why did 77 million people vote for a rapist? Why wasn't that a red line? Because it didn't affect them, because they're selfish pricks. E. Jean Carroll's not my mom, but I act as if she was. What if I knew you and your mom was E. Jean Carroll and assaulted her and I still voted for him? You would be livid. But it wasn't your mom, so you don't care. What if Officer Sicknick was your father and he died after January 6th and I voted for the rapist? But he's not my dad, so I don't give a damn. What if one of the little girls like 13-year-old Katie Johnson, who sued Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein for raping her, at 13 was your daughter and I still voted for him? You would be pissed. Well, I don't vote for the person, I vote for the policy. Can you imagine going into a voting booth and voting for a man that calls women fat, calls them piggy, rapes women, molests little children, protects pedophiles, causes an insurrection, is a 34-count felon, and saying, well, I don't vote for the person, nobody's perfect. But he promised me no tax on tips. Just think about the lack of morality. That's not a difference of opinion. You're just a shitty human being. You're selfish. And the irony is that so many of those people, when I make this video on a Sunday, they're going to church to cosplay as a Christian for 1 hour. They're going to go up there with their Trump 2028 flags, Joe and the Ho bumper sticker, and F Joe Biden flags, and praise Jesus. And they're going to read from a book that says you're supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself. How can you call yourself a party of family values, a Christian, a follower of Jesus, that you don't care about E. Jean Carroll, about the 25 women that he sexually assaulted, about the officers that died and have long-term disabilities after January 6th, the communities in Ohio that were terrorized by white nationalists when he said they're eating the dogs and cats, the victims of Epstein Island that he's literally protecting. The guy's in there like over 3,000 times. How can you call yourself a person of faith with your fake gold cross and your Bible and God first and flags and bald eagle and all that bullshit? How can you call yourself a Christian and vote for that and ignore the atrocities done to all these other people? Because you're not Christians, you're Pharisees. But you did it for money, right? You're supposed to build your wealth in where? Heaven, where moth and rust don't get to them. But where do you build it? I want no tax on tips. I want no overtime because I'm a whore to capitalism. And that's what it is. It's selfishness. Just like your, don't tread on me. Don't take my piece of metal because I'm an insecure, mediocre white man with a micro penis. But I don't care if that gun murders 40,000 people a year. There's nothing I can do. But don't you dare put a tampon in a boy's bathroom. That's a bridge too far. God's going to send you to hell. Yeah, and it sucks, you know, because I know people in my life that are upset by my videos, and I don't give a damn. They're not upset with me. You know what they're upset with? It's the mirror. It's calling them out on their hypocrisy. And for white people, that accountability is way overdue. It is up to us as white people to have these conversations and hold them accountable for their lack of morality, especially for these Pharisees that run around with their gold crosses and God first in bio, because they're the most vile people on social media. It's not a difference of policy. It's a difference of morality and basic human decency. Now, if anybody wants to prove me wrong, I want you to show me in the Bible anybody where it says that Jesus endorsed voting for a man who protects child molesters and rapes women, calls women fat and ugly, lies 30,000 times, watches on his fat ass while officers are beaten, asks for the execution of 5 black men, and has dinner with white supremacists. Somehow that's okay, but you can't vote for Pete Buttigieg because he's gay and it's a sin and it's against the design of God. Anytime any of you want to have that debate, I welcome it. But don't call yourself a Christian while you vote for this immorality. Have a white day.